Welcome back. Today, we are counting down what I believe to be the top 5 serial killer movies of all time. Before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below telling me which one is your personal favorite. Now, let's get into it. In 1987, the movie takes place in New York City, the most cutthroat and status-obsessed city in the world at the height of the glamorous and excessive 1980s. And American Psycho stars Christian Bale in an absolutely terrifying and electric performance as Patrick Bateman himself. Now, the story follows Patrick Bateman, a wealthy Wall Street investment banker who, on the surface, has it all. The perfect apartment, the perfect suits, the perfect business card. But underneath that polished exterior lives something deeply sinister and completely unhinged. Because Patrick Bateman has a secret life that nobody around him could ever imagine. A cold-blooded, calculated killer operating in the shadows behind designer suits and a charming smile. And it escalates fast. Now, while all of this is happening, the movie keeps you constantly questioning what is real and what is pure madness inside Bateman's mind. So this movie follows Patrick as he navigates his obsessive double life, while the walls around him slowly start to close in. Now, this movie is absolutely brilliant. Not only do I love how it blends psychological horror with dark comedy, but Christian Bale's performance, absolutely top tier. This is the kind of film that stays with you long after the credits roll. One of the most chilling and unforgettable characters ever put on screen, and Christian Bale owns every single second of it. In 1846, the movie takes place in the dark, foggy, and unforgiving streets of Victorian London, a city where the wealthy ruled with iron fists and the poor had absolutely no voice. Sweeney Todd stars Johnny Depp in a haunting and deeply twisted performance. Now, the story follows Sweeney Todd, a skilled London barber who gets wrongfully convicted and exiled by a corrupt and powerful judge named Judge Turpin, a man who wanted Todd gone so he could steal his wife for himself. And when Todd finally returns to London after years of suffering, he comes back with one thing on his mind: revenge. But what starts as a personal vendetta spirals into something far darker and far more disturbing than anyone could have anticipated: a cold-blooded killing operation hiding behind the warm smell of freshly baked pies. Now, while all of this is happening, Todd and his cunning accomplice, Mrs. Lovett, are running the most sinister business partnership in London history, and the city has absolutely no idea. So this movie follows Sweeney Todd as he hunts down the man who destroyed his life while leaving a trail of bodies that nobody can account for. Now, this film is absolutely extraordinary. The dark atmosphere, the twisted storyline, the sheer creative brilliance of it all, next level. This is the kind of story that wraps its cold hands around your throat from the very first scene and never once lets go. Dark, theatrical, and completely one of a kind. In 1978, the movie takes place in Los Angeles, the most glamorous and star-obsessed city on the planet, where television was king and everybody wanted a moment in the spotlight. Woman of the Hour stars Daniel Zavato in a bone-chilling and masterfully controlled performance as Rodney Alcala. Now, the story followed Rodney Alcala, a well-dressed, quick-witted, and disarmingly likable man who steps onto one of America's most-watched television dating shows and works the room like he was born for it. But underneath that relaxed exterior and easy smile lives something that nobody sitting in that studio could have ever seen coming: a predator hiding behind a television appearance while the whole of America watched from their living rooms. Now, while all of this is happening, authorities are piecing together a devastating trail of victims that spans years and crosses state lines, and every single thread keeps leading back to the same man. So this movie follows the terrifying reality of how a killer moved through society completely undetected by wrapping himself in confidence and likability. The storytelling, the atmosphere, the slow creeping dread of it all, absolutely top tier. What burns this story into your mind is the uncomfortable truth that nobody saw it coming. Not the producers, not the audience, not anyone. True crime does not get more chilling than this. Go check it out and see for yourself. In 2010, set against the cold and unforgiving backdrop of South Korea, a nation that has gifted the world some of the most raw, brutal, and emotionally devastating crime films ever put on screen. And I Saw the Devil stars Lee Byung-hun and Choi Min-sik in performances so fierce and so committed that you will not be able to look away for a single second. Now, the story follows Kim Soo-hyun, an elite NIS agent who seems to have everything until one night changes his entire existence forever. His fiancée is taken, murdered in cold blood by a serial killer named Jang Kyung-chul. And when the justice system moves too slowly for a man carrying that kind of pain, Kim Soo-hyun stops waiting. He goes hunting. But here is where this story separates itself from every other revenge thriller out there. The deeper he chases this killer, the more something shifts inside him. The rage, the obsession, the relentless pursuit, all of it slowly peeling away everything that made him the good guy in the first place. So this film follows two men locked in a collision course where the hunter and the hunted start looking frighteningly similar. The pacing, the brutality, the emotional gut punches, relentless from start to finish. This is not just a revenge movie. It is a deeply unsettling exploration of what vengeance actually costs a man. Unforgettable cinema. In 1969, set across the fog-soaked streets and newsrooms of San Francisco, a city gripped by fear as a killer nobody could identify began leaving a trail that law enforcement had never seen anything like before. And Zodiac stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Mark Ruffalo, and Robert Downey Jr. in career-defining performances across the board. Now, the story follows the desperate hunt for the Zodiac Killer, one of the most calculated and brazen serial killers in American history. A man who did not just kill, he taunted, sending coded ciphers, blood-stained clothing, and chilling letters directly to newspapers and police departments, daring anyone to catch him. And the pressure builds fast, because every lead goes cold, every cipher raises more questions, and the killer keeps moving freely while an entire city lives in terror. Now, while all of this is happening, a cartoonist, a detective, and a journalist each becomes so consumed by the case that it begins destroying everything around them. So this movie follows three men whose careers, relationships, and sanity are slowly swallowed whole by a case that refuses to close. And here is the part that will sit with you long after the film ends. This is not fiction. These were real people, real victims, real investigators who gave everything and still came up empty. That reality hits harder than any jump scare or Hollywood twist ever could. Go watch it and see for yourself. And that is your top 5 serial killer movies right there. American Psycho, Sweeney Todd, Woman of the Hour, I Saw the Devil, and Zodiac. 5 films, 5 completely different kinds of disturbing. If you enjoyed this, drop a like, leave a comment telling me which one got to you the most, and subscribe so you never miss a video. See you in the next one.